Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for popping in. If you want to help my endorphins today, you can just stick around and I will promise to make this as entertaining where it needs to be and serious in the other moments. So let's get to it. As some of you guys know, I am reading Lisa's book, and though it says what happens when women walk in faith, I think this could be applied to men too. So I've just been, using its material. But anyways, so with this week being Thanksgiving, I wanted to talk about a section in one of the chapters I just recently read that I thought was really good, and it was a really good challenge that honestly some people might battle with, because not every family unit is close and some families are divided, and it's very unfortunate. But she calls us to be thankful for our family members and why we should be thankful for them. So I found this calling really good, and it could be I understand I have an older brother that can make this calling kind of hard sometimes, and I hope you're watching this, Michael. I'm going to ask if you heard my shout out to you. Anyways, we'll see if you're watching my videos or not. But yeah, so I wanted to read this because as we're entering Thanksgiving, we have to be thankful for the people that God's put in our lives. So I'm going to read this. It's just a short paragraph. So she begins this paragraph by saying, "In this chapter, I said that my ministry began right within the walls of my home. Never has this been more clear to me than as I reflect on God's plan for my life. He knew to give me exactly the parents, sisters, husband, and children He has given me to specifically prepare me for my calling. I know without a shadow of a doubt that I wouldn't be the person I am without these people as part of my foundation. They contributed to my character growth and played starring roles in my family dramas. I thank God for their influence in my life through the years, for better or for worse. God has placed you exactly where you are according to His purposes. Thank Him for that today. Write a commitment to not dwell on how some of these people have let you down. Thank God for using these people in your family to help shape and mold you for your calling." And I never really thought of it that way, but who God places in our lives and in our upbringing does play a role in who we are today, whether some of that is what we want or not. So as we come into Thanksgiving, I don't know where you're at with your family, whether you're close or you haven't talked to them for years just because you're not close to them. I don't know where you're at, but today I'll just share some of my upbringing and how, and I'll focus on the good parts that have helped shape me where I am today and why I am so thankful for all these people, even you, Michael. So I grew up in a pastor's home from the get-go. My dad was a pastor for many, many years. So that was really, really fun growing up in the pastor's home. In the church that we grew up in, Dad had been there we'd been there for about 26 years. So it was the one church until, I moved away. So I love that. We have the core members of the church that, were basically family to me. So growing up in the pastor's home was educational in the good and the bad. And because, you see a lot of different families outside of the church and the ministries that come with that. And so that was really formative, really big part of who I am today. So just watching my family do ministry through all these years, that's why I'm here on this channel. I love sharing what God's doing in my life and the things that I read and the things that I learn. I'm 32 and there are things that I'm still learning, and I've been in church my whole life. So never feel like you have been educated to the max, because the Bible is filled with all kinds of goodies. We just have to take the time to search into it. So that's my little blurb on that. Spend time with the Lord. But growing up, it wasn't just in church. In the summers, we would do what's called vacation Bible schools, and we would go to different churches in the state rather than go on family vacations. This was kind of how we did our vacations, and we loved it. I know we talked about going on vacations and the possibility of that, but our family loved doing vacation Bible schools so much that we opted as a family to do those instead of vacations. And with that, I think we had so much more memories built in because those were several weeks. that we went to several different churches and we got to see several different people and ministries and get to work with kids. Children's ministry is huge in my family. And so like learning how to like lead music, doing that, doing skits, doing Bible stories, it just kind of encompassed all of what ministry is, a lot of things that ministry is. And with, different age groups, especially the younger. So that was always a huge impact on me doing those. I have tons of memories. A lot of them are so funny, and a lot of them are, watching, kids give their heart to the Lord. So rewarding. So a lot of that was every summer that, as I was growing up, was that, and camps. Our district, our Wesleyan district, would meet together in the summers for kids camp, teen camp, family camps, and that was also very, very formative. And my family was huge in those. We would do different ministries with those camps. So we were just very, very close. And we did ministry together very close. We did revivals. We were big in music. So our family would go to different churches and we were the song evangelists. So I remember we'd be practicing, late at night on a Saturday night at our church because we'd have access to the church. And we would, my twin and I would be running around because we were really little. We'd be playing, and while my older siblings and my parents were practicing some of their more advanced music. And then when they wanted us to do something that was, more our age appropriate, they would have us come in and we'd practice. But I remember those late nights, and it was always so much fun to just hear them out in the sanctuary with their music. And then Chris and I would come out there and, sing along with them as we needed to. But then we'd go to different churches and we would sing and do harmony. And we just got to meet a lot of friends along the way doing that. And I never did sports growing up, the teams, but my family felt like a team. We were a ministry team. And I am so thankful for that. Because a lot of parents, a lot of families don't have that. And so I was very fortunate with that. My relationship with my parents have always been very close. Mom and Dad, they were always there to listen to us whenever we had anything, emotional or anything we wanted to talk to them about. They always made themselves available. We were very close. Whenever we had to be disciplined, they would, discipline us, and then they would come in a little later after we had been able to think about what we had done and why, why we shouldn't do the things that we did. And they would sit us down and they would put us on their lap, and then they would just hug us, and with tears in their own eyes, they would explain why the disciplining was harder on them than it was for us, because they never enjoyed doing it, but it was their calling. So having that love right after, they had to discipline us, just reaffirmed even greater that they loved us way more than what we thought, than what we could comprehend. So very close to my parents. And then with my siblings, super close. We always had a lot of that teasing among us, especially with our older brother. My twin and I are the youngest of the four of us kids, and he's almost 11 years older than us. So there was a lot of wrestling that my mom would have to be the referee for, and it was always that we always got into all kinds of trouble with that. And then my brother would always tease us. He still does at reunions, at gatherings. We are the target for his insults. And some people outside the family would think, man, they hate each other's guts. But really, that's how we show that we love each other, is through our teasing and things. It's a good time. So we have a very good relationship with them. And our older sister, so it goes my older brother, then older sister, who's almost 8 years older than me, my twin. And she, is always there to help us as well. We were good friends with her, still good friends. We always talk to her about personal things. We're all moms now, so getting to talk about the places that we're at, and just having that closeness. We never had that like teasing like my brother, because it's a brother and sister rivalry kind of thing. But with older sister, it was very, very close. And it's cool because as we've all grown up, like the ministry that my parents had us in, as through the years, we've all branched out into our own ways of ministry. it's still very much a part of our lives. The humor and the love for ministry is there. And so it's really cool to see how we've all, how our parents had that foundation, and God has just used that, God used that foundation to where we're at in our own personal lives now. So how my family has impacted my life today is I have such a love for the Lord, such a love for music, and love for ministry, and love for people. And I like looking at all of those things growing up, and the people in my family that I did it with. I have to say that who I am today and the love that I have for all those things is because of my family. And there are some things, with my dad now that I will get into later on down the road that, I look back on. And that's why I get kind of emotional when I talk about this. I just love thinking back on those times because they are so good. And I know that a lot of people didn't have those kind of experiences with their family. So I am very, very thankful for them today. So I don't know how hard it is for you to be thankful for family members that have helped you be who you are today, but find the good and thank the Lord for it, and just try to dwell on that. Hopefully you have a great upbringing where you are so thankful for the tribe that God gave you. But if you're not, and you have to look a little harder, look and find it, because I'm sure that there are moments that you are going to be thankful for. So as Thanksgiving gets closer, just be thankful for the people that you have around you, and thankful that they have helped, that God has used them to help build you into the person that you are today. So that's where I'm at with today's topic. I hope you have a wonderful tomorrow, because tomorrow will be Thanksgiving. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.